Ooh, noise cut off midway. She knew she hadn't timed it right. Oh, we haven't seen too many of those from Lina lately. Good forcing serve. It's just too good.
Well, at one stage there was a big deficit in terms of winners to unforced errors for Lina. Now she's actually in surplus. 29 winners, 28 unforced errors. This set, 7 winners, 3 errors. Turning it on. Chalk up another winner. Chalk up a break point. A point for a set and 4 love.
Well, Lina knew from the beginning this was hers to win. A lot of pressure on her to do so, but amazing since we got to the tiebreak. The tiebreak in particular, she suddenly started playing really well, and she's carried it on into this set.
Yeah, it's stunning now.
Yeah, no, she's relaxed enough to think, which way shall I hit the winner? Superb fight by Cibulkova, and she'll be there to the bitter end, but at the moment she's being outplayed.
Love 15.
Just a third double fault from Lina. But again, can't afford to relax, can't afford to throw her opponent a lifeline. Because Cibulkova is just the sort of dogged competitor who will grab it.
Her fiancé being very vocal, trying to encourage her and get her going. Well, we all know that Lina's coming in more, and that was a plan from over a year ago with Carlos Rodriguez. But she cracks everyone up because when he first mentioned it, she's going, you know, are you crazy? I've been playing from the back of the court for, what, 100 years? Now you want me to go forward?
Yeah, and she was moving forward again. Obviously didn't have to play the volley. The ground stroke was so good. I'll always remember that lovely Wimbledon final between Amelie Mauresmo and Justine Henin, when I think there was more serve and volleying than there was in the men's final that year.
That's right.
have a look at this Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup. NSW, of course, the New South Wales Lawn Tennis Association. In the early days of these championships, they used to rotate around the major Australian cities before finding a permanent home in Melbourne. Just terrific again from Lina. Extends her advantage in this second set to 5-love. Carlos, we've seen it all before. Just a little gentle nod of approval.
Is ready to serve you with the power to surprise.
Order the coolest outfits and much more now on tennispoint.com.
Kia, the power to surprise.
Thank you.
Really want Dominika to win this game. She doesn't deserve to lose a set, 6-love, but she's been outplayed in this second set. Oh, the winner's just pouring out of Lina's racket. It's 11 now in this set, just 4 unforced errors.
Well, that backhand really is something to behold when it's on song like this.
That is just remarkable. She cannot miss at the moment. 6 straight points.
So in all those hours you've put in to be able to play like this, and it's so satisfying. She rather enjoyed that.
Well, the big smile.
15-30.
As well as the apology. She needs luck like that just to stay with Lina at the moment. No, it's too long. And it's 2 championship points.
15-40.
For Lina.
Yep, still yelling, still in it as much as she can be, Cibulkova.
30-40.
That's gone long. The Grand Slam of Asia Pacific has an Asian champion. Lina has a second Grand Slam title. And her place in the history of tennis is assured. A really tight opening set. It took a long time for both of them to conquer the nerves, but once she had that set, well, if Lina's ever played a better set than the second, I haven't seen it.
Go with that, Dave. That was just wonderful tennis in the end. Yes, she was very nervous and uptight, and why not? She was the one that was meant to win this. But she sorted herself out. I mean, she went to break to go 6-5 up, then lost her serve in a horrible game, but then played a wonderful tie-break and then motored home. Really fantastic tennis at the end.
It's not worth the risk. It's a bit high, Lina. You can thank them fully later. Lina wins 7-6, 6-love in an hour and 37 minutes.
Thank you very much to David and to Joe. And Lina, absolutely delighted. It was time for her to win another Grand Slam, just to establish herself as one of the great players. Dominika, Cibulkova, she did so well to get into this final, and she was toe-to-toe with Lina in that first set after it got off to a slow start. But then Lina, having won it in a tie-break, came through, had so much confidence in that second set, taking it to love. So Lina is the Australian Open champion. Just to remind you, tomorrow it's the men's turn. Rafael Nadal will face Stanislav Wawrinka for the men's title down in Melbourne, and we'll have that all live view from 8 o'clock in the morning here tomorrow morning. So it's gone a little bit dark in the Rod Laver Arena as they get the presentation ready. But Virginia, what did you make of that as a match?
You know, I have to say that I thought Lee played an absolutely spot-on match. You know, that's what tennis is about. It takes you a little while to adjust to your opponent. She adjusted. She got in sync with the speed at which Dominika hits the ball, and not only the speed, the early hitting that she was producing. And once she got her timing right, I mean, she actually stood back, I think, a tiny bit to give her a little bit more time to hit those balls, and then she did everything right. So she must feel fantastic. I mean, that is a satisfying match for her.
Well, I have to agree with you, Virginia. I thought it was very impressive. You know, winning her second major, after that first set tiebreaker, she just went from strength to strength. And on her fourth attempt, finally wins the Australian Open. And can you imagine the celebrations in China right now and the viewership numbers there, because this is a massive event for the country. She was actually on Time magazine's cover in 2013 for one of the most influential persons in the world.
Yeah, I think she's the third highest earning sportswoman.
I'm sure she is. I mean, we know Sharapova is very high up there, so I just thought that was terrific. She held firm all through the tournament. She had one little blip, but then she started getting better and better. And, you know, after she won the French, she went into a bit of a decline, but I don't think that will happen this year, because that was such a surprise for her to win on the clay. And now with Carlos Rodriguez there giving her support, telling her, you know, that she should have faith in herself. Yeah, I think she's definitely has a potential this year to win some other big ones.
Well, she had talked about retiring last year. Thank goodness for women's tennis she didn't.
Well, I think it was probably the pressures and the expectation, but you know, that association with Carlos Rodriguez had made a huge, huge difference. And I think having a good team of people behind you, from her coach to her physio to her husband supporting her as well, it is great to see her playing so well and winning the first Grand Slam title of the year. As they said, this is considered the Asian-Australian Grand Slam. So it's the first Asian person to win the Australian Open. So what a feat.
Well, it was Carlos Rodriguez, you mentioned him there, Greg, who actually talked Li Na out of retiring because he said, look, you've got a fantastic game. We saw her moving more in towards the net. We saw the drive volley, a winning drive volley. He's made big changes to her. And at this stage of her career, to change the grip on the serve, to change the grip on the backhand is a big thing. But she's done it, and it's clearly paid off.
Yeah, as you get a little more mature, you begin to understand the game better, and you also begin to get it into better perspective. So she wasn't fretting when she made mistakes, because obviously that's the danger for any player out there. You miss a couple of balls and you start to lose your confidence, and you know, and that's where she just didn't flap.
Well, the other thing as well is, having won this Grand Slam, you know, winning your second one is sometimes the most difficult thing to do, and she should gain more confidence. She's got a chance in the next few weeks to try to get up to world number 2. Only 11 points behind Azarenka now with this win coming up. And she's got to think to herself, wouldn't it be great to try to get to world number 1 one day? So expect her to go from strength to strength, and it's great to see. And also, when you're saying about making those changes, you have to be a brave coach to actually convince the player to make those changes, and in part, by making them, it has helped her to win her second major.
Interesting, she's ahead in the unforced error count for this match. In fact, she was quite far ahead until that third set. The difference being at 30-28, but it's the winners where the big difference was. 34 winners for Li Na in the match overall, and just 11 for Cibulkova.
She's a lovely striker of the ball, and, you know, there's no reason she can't beat Azarenka and Serena at times. Maybe not every time, but certainly when she's playing well, she's as good as the best.
Yeah, but fortune favors the brave, and, you know, in a Grand Slam final, it's the one who takes it on more and makes the shots and goes after it. You know, a certain Andy Murray had that problem before in the past.
What a wonderful match we've just seen. Congratulations to Li Na and Dominika Cibulkova. It's been an amazing fortnight really for women's tennis. We've seen some stunning upsets and the emergence of some bright young stars, and we've seen 2 remarkably popular players play in tonight's final. And what a day for Slovakia, and what a day for China. Joining us for tonight's presentation is the President of Tennis Australia, Mr. Stephen Healy, the CEO of ANZ, Mr. Mike Smith, and Ms. Chris Evert, who 30 years ago won her second Australian Open. It was Chris's 132nd title that day and the 16th of 18 Grand Slam singles she would win. What a player she was. Also at the presentation tonight is the CEO of Tennis Australia and the tournament director, Craig Tiley, and the tournament referee, Wayne McEwen. ANZ have been wonderful sponsors. I'd invite their CEO, Mike Smith, to say a few words.
ANZ is delighted to announce that it's going to sponsor the Australian Open for a further 5 years. The Australian Open has become also the Grand Slam of Asia Pacific, and it's fantastic that tonight the champion is from China, Li Na.
Mike, thank you. And now, also to say a few words, the President of Tennis Australia, Mr. Stephen Healy. Stephen.
Good evening, everyone. What a fantastic fortnight of tennis from our female competitors here at the Australian Open. I would like to thank our fabulous sponsors, led by Kia, ANZ, Jacobs Creek, Rolex, and all of our great commercial partners. And a very special thank you to the Victorian Government, who've done a fantastic job assisting us with our facilities here and all of the operations surrounding the tournament. Thank you also to our tournament team led by our CEO and tournament director, Craig Tiley, our referee, Wayne McEwen, and our 4,500 strong team who come together to operate the Australian Open. And it's the enthusiasm and the precision that they lend to this event that has led the players to call this the Happy Slam. And thank you to all the spectators for the atmosphere you provide in here. It's been a very, very special tournament. And to the players, Dominika, congratulations. You're the first Slovakian player to make a Grand Slam final. Four wins over top 20 players, and you've won a legion of fans by your fantastic attitude and scrapping and fighting for every ball. And to Lee Na, twice a finalist here, finally a winner, holding up the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup, your first Australian Open. Congratulations.
Stephen, thank you very much. I think Dominika's proven that you don't have to be big to be great in the last 2 weeks. She's beaten 2 top 5 players on her way to this first Grand Slam final. I invite her to come up and receive the cheque from Mr. Mike Smith and the trophy from Miss Chris Evert. Dominika.
Put it a little down. Okay. I don't really know where to start. You know, these were just fantastic 2 weeks of my life, and I think I'm gonna cry. So I would start with my team. Thank you very much for supporting me, especially my coach, my boyfriend, my physiotherapist, my friends in the box, and my fitness coach at home. He's not in here, but and of course my parents. They're watching from home. So hello everybody in all Slovakia. You know, this means a lot for our country, and I'm happy I can be the one who is, you know, here for Slovakia. And I would like to congratulate to Lina. She had a great tournament, and she deserved to be here as a winner. And I want to also thanks to Chrissy for making my preseason in December in her academy. So that's so great, so I can be also here. Thank you. And I would like to thanks to all the sponsors. You know, this is now for me is my favorite Grand Slam. You know, all the people who works for the tournament. It's just great, and I know it makes so it takes so much energy. So, you know, that's, I think, everything from me. Thank you very much, guys.
Congratulations, Dominika. And now to our champion, Lee Na. I know that there are lucky numbers in China, but we have a saying here, third time lucky. It was the third time that Lee Na's been in the Australian Open final in the last 4 years. Just 8 days ago, she saved a match point in the third round. Just the fourth woman to do that at the Australian Open. And she now adds the Australian Open to the championship at Roland Garros. So she's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. Has there been a more popular winner? Lee Na.
You know, finally I can got her. Last 2 times was very close. So anyway, so start now. First, congratulations for Dominika. Have very good tournament here. Also for her team. So best wish for the future. Yeah, now I have to thank my team. Max, agent, make me rich. Thanks a lot. My physio, Alex, when we were working around like 4 years, I never got injured. Of course, last year's finals, we couldn't come back. So, yeah, it's not your fault. It's my fault. So you're doing a very good job. Thanks for Carlos. Always believe me, I can do well. Especially in this winter training. I think we are working so hard, and finally I get it. Thanks so much. Okay, now, of course, my husband, even famous in China. Thanks for him give up everything, just traveling with me to be my hitting partner, fix the drink and fix the racket. So he did a lot of job. So thanks a lot. You're a nice guy. And also you are so lucky. Fund me. Okay, now I would like to say thanks for all the sponsors to make a fantastic tournament. You know, I have to say again, this is my favorite Grand Slam. I was so happy I can win the title here. So I cannot wait and looking forward to come back. And also, no, I know you guys think I'm talking too much, but last thing. Thanks for the crowd come to supporting us. So thank you so much.
Lina is a very hard act to follow, ladies and gentlemen. A big round of applause for our two finalists tonight, Dominika Cibulkova, and our champion, our 2014 Australian Open champion, Lina of China.
Well, it's perhaps two of the better winning and runner-up speeches we've heard. Lina, always a good turn on the winning rostrum. But I thought Dominika Cibulkova certainly played her part there as well. Rather like the fact that she had to lower the microphones. But she looked pretty used to having to do that. But terrific stuff as the umpire gets her acknowledgement. Carolyn Kramer of Australia. But Lina, thrilled to have won here, of course. Up to number 3 in the rankings now. She's 31 years old, so what actually lies ahead for her from here, Virginia?
Well, I mean, the way she tackled this match and the way she tackled the tournament, I never really got into too much trouble apart from the one match, and that was due to a very feisty opponent. She played through all that extreme heat. She came through. She played in all conditions, and I think she can cause some, if she believes, she can cause some other people some real problems in major matches. I don't think it's out of her reach to defeat the top 2 who are ahead of her.
And Cibulkova, what sort of challenge can she mount? I mean, for her stature, she packs her punch, and she's just shown what she can bring to the game as well. And as they said there when they introduced her, her attitude on court is just fantastic.
It's absolutely fantastic. And all through the last half dozen years, including the years she got to the semi-final of the French, we've seen Cibulkova play so well, but then she has terrible down patches, and we didn't see that this tournament. So if she can believe in her consistency and keep her motivation up, I mean, she can run forever, she can hit forever, and she just has to make sure her serve doesn't let her down too much.
Well, exactly. I think that's one of the key points for both of these women players. The serve is key for both of them because they've both got good return of serves, but getting to the very top of the game, it's going to be very hard for Cibulkova, and seeing her get back to another Grand Slam final, she's got to keep on getting better and improving. As the woman in our picture, Lina, did in the offseason, especially improving that serve, changing the grip on the backhand side, and taking a risk. That's what you have to do if you're going to get to the very top of women's game, because you've got to look at it Azarenka, Serena Williams. But boy, what a moment to win your second major. She deserves it. She is a massive superstar. I'd love to see the TV figures for this Grand Slam final in China. I mean, it must be one of the biggest sporting events of the year with the numbers, especially with Li Na winning today.
You know, when she was introduced as possibly the most popular winner ever, I think that must have been the point that was being made, because there have been some very, very popular winners. But it's because of the following in China, the massive hundreds of millions, literally.
But does she have 25 million people following her on social media?
Wow.
I believe that was the number I
think it was 22, but it will definitely go up to 25.
Yeah, it could easily.
I got close. That's I never know with
3
numbers.
million out. That's quite a lot.
It's not a very big percentage, but...
That's a great shot, isn't it? But just, I loved it when she thanked her agent Max for making me rich. Isn't that great? But in fact, it was he who had the idea of hiring Carlos Rodriguez as the coach. And just look what that has done. So that team behind her has helped her massively here.
Well, exactly. And she's got her physio, Alex Dover, who's been there the last 4 years. Her coach previously was obviously her husband, but she needed to make a change to win her second major. And the acquisition of Carlos Rodriguez was key, having taken Justin Henin to so many Grand Slam championships. And now to win the Australian Open and to convince her to keep playing the game, it has all paid dividends.
But the most famous husband in China, Dennis. he gets quite a knocking, doesn't he? I love the fact that he's her hitting partner. I hope that is only out on court.
Well, I mean, she made total sense to separate a little bit from him as far as his being coach, because, I mean, you know, you need somebody, I always think in tennis, you need somebody who's very strict with you as a coach, and somebody on whose shoulder you can cry, or who will just always give you the moral support. And I think it's very difficult when you have the confusion of the two. So I believe that very strongly, and that helped her.
Indeed, well, what a winner, Li Na. She's come through emphatically here after a tight first set, taking that 7-6, and then just absolutely tearing through Dominika Cibulkova to take the second 6 love. It's one of the happiest-looking presentations I think I've seen. Dominika Cibulkova looking absolutely thrilled with what she's achieved here today, just coming up short at the final hurdle. So Li Na is the Australian Open champion. When we come back, we will be to tomorrow's men's final. It's Rafael Nadal against Stanislav Wawrinka.